千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. I would like to extend a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now, to be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process in the Tao with one another. The yin and yang symbol here serves as a reminder that in the external and the internal, there's always an element of the other. So outward directed practice on the left, inward directed practice to the right. In the inward directed practice, we have seen the three questions from Lao Tzu. Can you embrace oneness without strain? Can you relax as you concentrate like an infant? Can you clean away the worldly view to be without imperfection? Those were the inward directed practices. Lao Tzu designed these questions to be instructional, and the same is true for the other three in the outward directed practice. The first one seems to be directed at a king or an emperor to rule the nation without manipulation. It is, in fact, a direction for you and me to manage your life without meddling with other people. The second one is about the feminine principle, and that maps to the softness of the baby. The last one is about all different directions, a reminder to us that we need to manage and transcend the worldly view. So these are linked together. These are 6 questions that are designed to be instructional. By answering these questions for ourselves, we come to understand the 6 main points in the first half, section 1 and 2. So keep the following in mind. The Tao is the one. Embracing oneness just means embracing the Tao. Specifically, it is the inward directed practice. So embracing the Tao is embracing the Tao within yourself. So this is all about focusing on yourself as a reflection or manifestation of the Tao. That's how you feel the fundamental connection deep in the core of your being. And we know that this is emphasized by the phrase holding the soul right before embracing the one. This is emphasis by semantic reiteration. And that is how you can tell we are 100% accurate with this interpretation. And as I mentioned, when you direct this oneness, this focus on yourself to your external world practice, you are very naturally disinclined to interfere with other people because you really just want to refine your own practice, your spiritual lessons. You want to refine your expressions, your actions, rather than to be overly concerned or fussing over what other people are doing. Now, when you're able to do this, it's a powerful but natural effect that you create in your life. you find that you're able to have greater influence on other people. That is, they see what you are doing. They like the results that you are getting in your life. So they naturally come to you to ask about that, or they try to do what you do. So rather than you having to manipulate anyone, they just naturally follow your example of their own volition. When this is applied at the level of a ruler, it's the Tao of ruling the nation or the empire. The emperor can bring about the transformation for the good without forcing the people to follow some kind of strict mandate. So now you can see the connection between the two. The first two-sided arrow that go from one to the other in the top of this particular slide, when you can see the connection, it is so obvious that it really seems like it cannot be any other way. The same is true for the second set in the middle of the slide. Lao Tzu used infant as a symbol for optimal potentiality, like the Wu Wei principle we talked about previously, but also optimal relaxed softness. With that softness in mind, and then look at the outward to be feminine, the yin principle, to hold on to that in your thoughts, the connection once again is very clear. So holding on to the feminine principle, or can one be like an infant? It's really the same question, and it's asked in two different ways. Again, the most obvious thing in the world, once pointed out, not really mentioned by anyone else. But once you see it, you may find yourself looking at other translations or interpretations and be a little bit surprised that there's no mention of this obvious connection anywhere. The third one, toward the bottom of the slide, Lao Tzu is pointing out the worldly views as being imperfect, and that is because when we are focused on the material world, when our concerns are all material in nature, it is, of course, less than ideal. And all we have to do is to look at how most people are in life. We can see their materialistic views in action. People tend to measure everything, and they tend to compare against one another in terms of money and possessions, things. To them, it seems logical. If you have more, it's a good thing, isn't it? I hope that we can all clear this up in our perception and realize there's always more than one way, more than the materialistic perspective, to look at anything. So the wealth and material things that people think as a positive, as good, when seen from a different perspective, can look a lot like attachments. That is, they can be burdens that tie you down. It can be a way to imprison you that limits your freedom. And this is why it's important to understand all directions, all perspectives, not just the material, but also the spiritual, so we can attain some kind of balance between the two. Transcend the worldview, still have material success that you can enjoy, but then never carry that to an excessive extreme. Balance, as always, with a spiritual outlook. That is the message from Lao Tzu. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.